Hi. Well, as some of you who've been watching my videos for a while may be able to determine, I'm back home. I'm back at the lake. I'm back in my garden once again. And today I'm recording this video to talk with you about the Trecena of Ix. So, Ix, often seen as being the jaguar, but really, it's this feminine energy. It's the feminine pronoun. It represents the phrase she of. And it's a very, very strong connection with Mother Earth, with the sacred spirit of Mother Earth, and the sacred places on the earth. Now, we could see all of this as being a sacred place on Mother Earth, really, couldn't we? But in particular, it's also talking about the altars and the shrines, the temples. And so we see this connection between ourselves and the temples being the conduits that accept our prayers, the shrines where we make our offerings, to Mother Earth, who brings us all this, who gives us a place to live, who, looks after us. Everything that nourishes us comes from Mother Earth. And so it's a symbiotic relationship. And I see Ish as celebrating this symbiosis, recognizing that we can have this connection with Mother Earth, where we can work with her, we work closely with her, we look after her, we receive our nourishment from her, and we give back by making sure we keep her clean, we look after her, and we make offerings to say thank you. Now, when we uncover this relationship, this can lead to processes that we might see as being something like manifestation or magic or these kind of things. And so, of course, there is this element to it, because when we are freely giving to the sacred spaces, of course, that's what activates it within them and what activates it within us. And so, what I see for the Ishtrasena is we're taking this little bundle and we are making our offerings to bring it forward into its full magic, as it were, into its full potential, its connection with Mother Earth. And also, in the same time, asking what more we can do to strengthen that connection with Mother Earth. So we're going to begin the Trecena of Ix on the day 1 Ix. And of course, the beginning of the Trecena, this is always about the potential. And this is really kind of obviously the start day. But it's novelty, it's newness, a new connection. So we could be looking at this day as a day to renew our connection with the sacred sites, a day to renew our connection with our own shrine or altar, as I'll be doing tomorrow morning when I make ceremony on 1 Ish. 1 Ish has this potential for magic, as it were, to reevaluate and to understand how to make this connection, how to communicate with Mother Earth, how to see the sacred in these spaces and the sacred within each other. And so sometimes we might need a little bit of encouragement. Sometimes we might not be sure that, kind of like we've got this connection. And so it's a day also to maybe ask for advice on how do we connect with Mother Earth? How do we make our ceremonies? How do we show our gratitude to Mother Earth? Perhaps we might be looking at the beginning of a new avenue of connection, a new practice perhaps. And of course, I would see 1 Ish as a particularly good day to initiate a new altar or renew an existing one. From 1 Ish, we're then going into 2 Tz'ikin. So, 2 Tz'ikin, Tz'ikin the visionary, Tz'ikin the one who brings prosperity through its ability to see into the future, through its ability to see further down the road. And here we see Tz'ikin coupled with the number 2. Now, the number 2 can represent relationships, and so, the first thing that can come up with that is, bringing a vision into your relationship. That might be something that you're interested in right now. But the other thing with the 2 Tz'ikin, I like to see is kind of like, we can see a certain amount of mediation in there as well. Tz'ikin gives us the power to see very strongly. And the number 2, the polarities, the dualities, it's like being able to see both sides in sharp focus, both sides in great detail. And when we can see both sides, then we can understand better where we're existing. Now, in this Trecena of Ix, maybe this is kind of like seeing both sides of what's going on Earth right now. We can also see that, kind of like we see the polarity. It's a one or a zero, a left or a right, an up or a down, a black or a white, as it were. It's kind of like it is this polarization, and it may bring in, kind of quite stark contrasts. The two Tz'ikin being able to see things kind of like very, very clearly. It's either this or it's that, and there might not be much in between the two of them. From two Tz'ikin, we're then going into three Ajmak. So Ajmak, the Nawal of forgiveness, the Nawal of redemption. And here we see it combined with the number three. Now, the number three, sometimes we might look at it as being some obstruction or blockage. Things might not go exactly the way that you planned. But one of the things that we really see with the three is it's about what's going on inside. It's the inner number. And so the focus is internal. The focus is on self. And here, with the Nawal of forgiveness, of course, that's a very easy kind of like way to see that this is a day really about focusing on forgiving yourself. Now, we carry these burdens, guilt over something or shame about something and that kind of thing. And a lot of the time, they're kind of like we almost build them up within ourselves. We hold on to them for so long, they become part of us. So much so that sometimes we actually almost kind of forget that they're there. Three Ajmak is a day to go within, like a day of meditation, a day of solitude, a day of quietness, to go within yourself and work out what you still need to forgive yourself about. Because obviously, if we're talking about a Trecena of initiating magic, of initiating connection, and recognizing the sacred nature of what's around us, we also have to recognize the sacred nature of what's within us. And if we're holding on to guilt about things, then that's going to cloud our judgment on that. So it's a day to forgive yourself, a day to let go of those things that you might have been carrying. From three Ajmak, we're then going into four Noch. So Noch, the Nawal of the mind, the Nawal of the brain, combined with the number four, the material plane, things getting really down to earth. It's about manifesting our plans into reality. We've had time to think them through. We've got an idea. Now, this is the foundation. This is the, kind of like we're laying it down. We're setting the foundation, putting the four corners in, as it were. So it might not necessarily be that our plan is coming to full fruition on that day. It's a really good day to kind of like put the physical effort into getting it into a solid physical reality. So if you've got a plan that you've been sort of sitting on for a while, for Noch is a great day to actually kind of like, peg out the location, as it were, and start to set the foundations for how that's going to grow. We can also see for Noch very much, if we think of Noch as representing knowledge, this is about bringing that knowledge into the physical realm, or the physical application of the knowledge that you carry to solve problems. So again, it's a great day for problem solving. Noch days are generally that, but if there's physical stuff that's going on, then for Noch is a great day to use your mind to solve those problems. From four Noch, we're then going into five Tijax. So Tijax, the obsidian blade, the warrior, the healer, the sculptor, the editor, even. And here we see it connected with the number five, the number of work. It's about putting your effort in. Now, it kind of, for me, again, is one of those things where it's very easy to put these things together and see if we got five representing work and Tijax representing healing. I mean, it's a great day to put your effort into healing. Tijax days are often good days for that anyway. And here it's saying kind of like, okay, the five is saying, okay, put your effort in, kind of use the resources that you have at your disposal, use your energy, because the five is always going to be more than doubled. And so the energy that you put into any kind of healing exercise on a 5 Tijax day is something which is really going to pay dividends. And so it's well worth going through those kind of things. The same could be said for what you might need to leave. Tijax days give us the opportunity to cut ourselves free, rather similar to cat days in a way. But in Tijax days, this is where we're kind of like swinging the blade, where we're actually severing what needs to be taken away. This is why I often think of Tijax being rather like a sculptor. We're cutting away the mundane to bring out the divine. Now we're in a Trecena where we're talking about connecting with Mother Earth, we're talking about connecting with magic. And so maybe on the Tijax day, maybe there's some kind of like old attachments. So this 5 Tijax day can be seen very much about using our blade, putting our energy into using and crafting with our blade to remove any disease, anything which is out of balance, so that the divine essence can come out, so that we can reconnect with our magic. From 5 Tijax, we're then going into 6 Kawok. So Kawok, the Nawal of the Storm, well, I'm hoping I'm going to fit in this video before the rain comes today, because I don't think it's very far away. Kawok, the midwife, we see how green this is. I don't know if you remember the videos from March or April, when all of that back there, all that hill was kind of like shades of brown and yellow, and now here it is after 3 months of rainy season. Everything's this beautiful green. There's flowers everywhere. And that all comes obviously because of the rain which brings life, the midwife which brings the new into the world, the feminine essence of healing. And here we see it with the number 6. And so 6 Kawok can be seen as a day of healing within the family, particularly by using our compassion. Now, I also like to refer to Kawok as being tough love. Kawok is it's a rainstorm, and the storm can come down. That greenness didn't appear because of a little light rain here and now and again. And it came because there's been a lot of rain coming. Can be seen as a healing essence. Now, I said tough love, and sometimes that's what it takes. It's kind of like what takes us to move, or what it takes to move us forwards in our journey, to move into something new. And Kawok is here to do that. Now, here we see it in relation with the number 6, the number 6 representing family, the number 6 also being ultimate stability. So once again, we go into another day with a very high potential for healing, particularly familiar healing. This is a day of compassion. Kawok might be tough, but she's also a compassionate midwife. And it's about using that compassion to heal, particularly within families. And I see with the number 6, it being an incredibly stable form of healing that we're working with. So again, if you've got a healing practice to be working with, 6 Kawok would be a wonderful day to be doing it. From 6 Kawok, we're then going into 7 Ajpu. Now, 7 Ajpu is a rather interesting one, because once again it's a character from the Popol Vuh. Wukup Hunahpu can represent the old world, can represent the old sun, because we see 7 as endings, we see it as death. It's kind of like the finality of it. And it's combined with Ajpu, which represents the sun. So it's like the old sun, which can represent the old civilization. It's the finalization of the old civilization. Maybe this is what was being washed away by 6 Kawok. But there's something else to it. And it's when that civilization is finished, when that sun is finished, then of course the new one can come in. Sometimes we need to get things out of the way before we can see where we're going next. And the 7 often I see also as being, the top of the pyramid. And so we can see it as being like the sun on top of the pyramid or on top of the mountain. But what we can also see is that we're standing there on the top of the pyramid, and Ajpu can represent our divine path. And what do we see from the top of the pyramid? We see choices. So it may be a day when, kind of like you really have an understanding that you've come to the end of the road with a certain practice or a certain project or something like that. And it's like, right, okay, where is my divine path going to take me next? If you were looking for an idea, if you were looking for answers, then Seven Ajpu might be a great day to ask the questions to get those answers, because it's kind of like where you can really see where your path might be taking you next. From Seven Aq'ab'al, we're then going into 8 Imox. So Imox, the Nawal of the lake, the Nawal of the great bodies of water, the Nawal of the seas and the oceans and of the dreams. Here with the number 8. The number 8 often being a ceremonial day, 8 Imox being a wonderful day to make ceremony for water, a wonderful day to make ceremony for the oceans. And of course, like in the kind of middle of this Trecena, also being kind of like seeing the connection between Mother Earth and the bodies of water upon her. And so whether that ceremony is, a fire ceremony, for example, to give thanks for the water of the earth and everything that comes to us from it, or whether it's going and having a clean up on the beach, 8 Imosh is a great day to do it. It's also about wholeness. The 8 is the wholeness. It's the 1 and the 7, the birth and the death coming together as a whole. It's the beginning and the end in one place. And as such, we can see it as representing the whole dream. And so, again, this is sort of a day to be understanding kind of how to bring your whole dream from together. 8 Imosh, we're then going into 9 Ik. Ik being the wind, Ik being our breath, our communication, and the number 9 representing the feminine and also representing life itself. So 9 Ik we can see very much as being the life breath. It's about breathing our life into things and respecting, giving thanks for our life breath. We can also see it as feminine communication. Now, I said that Ish is a very, very feminine Nawal. And so, of course, we can see that in this Trecena, of course, this is the day of the words of women. And so we may find that women's words are particularly seen on a 9-Ik day. We can also see that Ik brings change. And the number 9 representing life, this could be a day of big life changes, which is exactly what we're going to need if we're going through to, a reconnection with the magic and reconnection with Mother Earth. Then we're going to need to go through those life changes. It's going to teach us about stability. But, these words that come out, they're words which should be to enhance life. So it's a great day. If you've got anything that you need to get across, anything that you need to communicate about your life, then 9-Ik should be a great day for it. From 9-Ik, we're then going into 10 Aq'ab'al. So Aq'ab'al, the dusk and the dawn. Aq'ab'al, that which has been hidden being revealed. And here we see it with the number 10, which can represent agreements. It can also represent society. So 10 Aq'ab'al may be a day on which things are brought to light in society. A day on which kind of like the rising sun illuminates what's been hidden in the darkness, what's been hidden in the night. So that's one way of looking at it. Aq'ab'al can also represent conception and new concepts. And here, when we see it with the number 10, it could represent possibility of new agreements taking shape, new concepts that we're going to bring into society. These are great things to be working on the day 10 Aq'ab'al. From 10 Aq'ab'al, we're going into 11 Cat. So 11 Cat, the net, Cat, our bundle, sometimes the bag that we're carrying, and sometimes the things that bind us. And here we see it with the number 11. And so the 11, which can be slightly unpredictable, it can be highly creative. It's about, walking the path less traveled, as it were. And 11 cat is kind of an interesting one because 11 I see very much as it needs its freedom to go into the directions that it senses it needs to go to. And then when we have it with cat, well, cat can be constraining as well. Cat can be our burdens. And so it leads me to kind of think that on 11 cat, this is a great day to be looking around at maybe for hidden burdens, maybe for things that we've been carrying and maybe forgot that we were carrying, attachments that we have had for so long that we've become comfortable with them. Like what I was kind of saying about the three Ajmak day as well. You know, cat can be a great day to let go, to go through your net and work out what you want to keep and what you want to let go of. It's a great day for decluttering. And when we see it with the 11, this is kind of like searching, kind of like through the, kind of like going to the right to the bottom of the bag, as it were, and finding out what's in there. Going to the places that you'd almost forgotten about. So you can see, do I need to keep my connection with that or can I let it go? From 11 cat, we're then going into 12 can. So can, the wisdom, the power. Can, also representing the teachers. And it's our body lightning. And here we see it with the number 12. So the number 12 representing all of our life experiences coming together. Now, one of the possible most positive ways of seeing 12 can is this is about teaching from our life experience. This is about passing on our wisdom to the next generation or the people around us, whoever like it might benefit from it, whoever we might be able to empower from it. Because this is one of the most positive ways of working with can, is to use the wisdom that we carry to empower those around us. And when we see it with the number 12, this would suggest that this wisdom that we have built up over the years, that we are sharing in order to empower people. Now, of course, high number can days can also be very seductive as well. So it's important to stay on the lookout for that because it's a high energy with a high number. It might bring back kind of like memories of like, oh, hang on, I've been here before. I fell for that before. And I'm not going to fall for it again. So maybe that's also a way that our wisdom can guide us. Our life experience becomes wisdom on that 12. And then finally, we go into the day 13 Kame. Kame, transformation, the ancestors, and literally death. And here with the number 13. Now, this is a very important day. Kame, yes, it will transform. Yes, it will bring up fears from time to time. But when we see it with the 13, with the 13 also representing our connection to spirit, our connection to the ancestors. And here we've got it with Kame. So when we see these two together, this is really about, I see it as receiving messages from the ancestral world, from the ancestral realm. You know, this is kind of like a day when the veil is very, very thin. And so if you are looking for a connection to your ancestors, if you're looking for a connection to your loved ones who've moved into the other plane of existence, then 13 Kame is a great day to be getting in touch with those people. It's a great day to be asking for guidance from the ancestors, because the 13 day would, for me, that suggests that it really comes through very strongly. There's also a day to really ask the ancestors for the strength, for the wisdom, and for the understanding to overcome whatever fears that might present themselves on that day. So, thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Ix. Thank you.